So I am going to do a short, quick tutorial for you guys in regards to that. I'm going to show you how to create them in the Phonto app, and then I emailed them to myself, and then download them to my computer, and then upload them to the Cricut in order for me to cut everything. Alright, so just follow along. And I will definitely show you guys how I do it. So in the bottom left hand corner, you should see the red Phonto app with the P and the pencil. You would need to download that from Google, or if you have an iPhone, from the App Store. It is a free app. So I generally download that. The first thing you do is on the bottom, in the bottom center where you see the camera, click on that, and it is going to upload a screen. When it uploads the screen, you're going to click on the one that says plain images. Once you click on the plain images, I generally use the white background. I click that, and it's going to open up. Once it opens up, in the right corner at the top right, you're going to click like the little upload button, and you're going to hit use. Alright, once you hit use, it is going to bring you to this white template to get started. So you just click on it one time. It's going to pull up the word add text. Once you do that, you're going to click to add text, and you're going to just type the name that you are generating for your keychain. So this customer is Arlene. I'm going to enter that, and it does show it white, so you can change the color of that by going to style. And when you're in style, you'll get this little bar with the different colors. I always do pink. I love pink. So we'll do that. Now while you are in here as well, the way you create your background is you click on the middle word stroke. Once you hit stroke, you do want to make sure your alpha, the line that says alpha where it says 0.00, you want to make sure that is slid all the way over to 1. So it can make a black background so you can see it better. Now the way you thicken your background is you go down to the word width, where you see my 3 at down there, and you slide that over to get it as thick as you want it to be. I try to do pretty thick, like that 18 looks really nice to me. You can make it bigger than that. I wouldn't recommend it, to make it look nice. I'm going to leave it at, well, this is 23. So I'm going to probably take it on, we'll do 25. That looks pretty good. So we'll do it like this. Now once you get this like this, basically this is how you create the background and everything using the app. Once you're done, you're going to just hit the word done. Alright, and then from there in the bottom right corner, you'll see the upload button again, and you hit that, and then you'll see where it populates where you want to send it to. Once you do that, I hit mail so I can email it to myself. And needs custom creation, and I'll just say Arlene nameplate. Alright, and then I just email it to myself. Alright, so that's the first step. Once I do that, I am going to go to my email. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to actually close this out. Alright, so from there, I'm going to go to my email. I'm going to click on this and just download it to my downloads. Once that is in your downloads, you're going to come over to the Cricut design space, and you're going to hit upload, and it's right here. So I hit open, and I generally choose simple here, continue. So you're going to do 2 different uploads of it. The way that I do it, the first one, I leave it like this, well, leave the name like this, but I click the background to remove that. I'm going to hit continue. see how it just has the background. I'm going to click this and I'm going to put Arlene background. So I'll know how to recognize it. Alright, and with that, hit save. Alright, you're going to upload the name again. Go to your downloads, open, simple. Alright, so this time, I do want to make it big enough to where I can see it. Alright, so this time, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click the background. Click both the black one and the white one. And I'm going to come up here to erase. And I just make the circle big enough for me to literally go around and remove all of the excess from the black background originally. And you just hold down your left mouse button to continuously go around it until you get all of it removed and you release. Now I'm going to click back on this first one and I'm going to remove the black inside, so make sure that that's removed as well. Alright, once that's done, you're going to hit continue. Click on this side and I'll just say Arlene, put that down for Maya. Arlene name, and then I'm going to hit save. Alright, so now that I have both of them here, I'm going to click both of them and hit insert images into the Cricut. Alright, so you can bring them both down a little. The size that I have been using is, let's see, so 4.75 by 3. I'm going to ungroup them so I can tell you both. Alright, so for the background, well, for the background itself, I generally do like 4.75 by 3. And then for the name, I just play with it to get it to fit inside of this. So it can vary on size. So go from there. Get what you want. Alright, get it. I'm recording. Please get it. So you're going to do that. So I'm going to close this back out. So the way that you change, and I do apologize, it's my 5-year-old. Click on the lock button in the bottom left corner. Go, please. In the bottom left corner, you're going to click this to unlock it so you can change the size. So you'll come up here to where it says width, do 4.75, and then for the height, do 3. And it which to me that's pretty big, but it's going to turn out nice. So I'll leave that black. This, I'll change the color so that it does stand out. Now right click and hit send to front, and I bring it here. So you're going to do the same thing here. Hit the lock, unlock it, and you can drag it to where it looks a big nice size for her name. Alright, so generally that's how I do my keychain. Now this, I may bring it down a little because to me that looks a little long. So yeah, I'll bring it up to 2.75 for the background. And then it still sits in there really nice. So those are the two main things that you do for the way you print, so you can print them. So I do that. Now the way that you get the handle for your keychain is you come over here to shapes, click on that, hit circle. It's going to bring in a circle. You just minimize it down. So right click it, duplicate, and this one you're going to make a little smaller because it's going to go inside in order to make your second one. I do change the color so I can differentiate the two. And I just try to center the small circle as best I can, like that. And you're going to select both of them, come down here to slice and hit slice. Once you do that, boom, you have your circle. So you can delete these two. Alright, and then what I do next, I slide this up, but now bring this over and I'm going to just put it right here. And when you put it right here, you're going to hit control and click this one as well. Once you click those two, then you're going to hit weld. And it's going to weld your circle onto your background. Alright, and so with that, I generally stack these in 5 or 6. So what I do is for this name, I duplicate this. So since all of like my background, just depending on what color you want to do the background, this customer is getting pink. Alright, so I'm going to stack 4 and I'll tell you how I print those. So what I generally do, duplicate this one, okay, and I'm going to change the color of this one since she's doing pink for the main background, and then this, I'm doing like a cute different thing, so it's going to print separate. So what I do is generally I hide these two, and then I just print all of these. I print 4 each of these, and then I print 1 each of the color ones, because these are going to be the ones that sit on top. So once I get everything printed, I will come back and show you guys part 2 of assembling everything together. Alright, I'll be back soon. Thank you.
Alright, hey guys, I'm coming back to you with part 2 of how I create the nameplate keychains. I've got everything printed out now. I'll just go over pretty much the little supplies and stuff I use. To finalize them, I do use the epoxy resin. The Modge Podge that I assemble them with is just the regular matte Modge Podge. Depending on what I'm printing out, you can just use regular cardstock paper. You can use the 8.5 by 11 or use the 12 by 12s. This is like the glitter cardstock if I'm doing something glitter. Just some color 8.5 by 11 regular cardstock. I got this one from Walmart. Or just like for the black backgrounds and stuff, I use this. You can get this from Amazon. That's where I got that from. For when I do like the QR code keychain portion, this is how I print it out. For the front and the back, I put the artist picture and then the QR code on the back, but I use regular cardstock paper for this. Alright, so once you, I have a few here that I'm working on. But pretty much you cut everything out like this. This is the top coat of the name. And then I print 4 more names and whatever the solid color is that I'm gonna use. And then I'll just show you how I Modge Podge, how I stack them. So basically all you do is you get the first name, the first printed out name, and then you just pretty much you put Modge Podge on it to cover it up completely, because you want to make sure that the names are completely sealed so that no epoxy can get between them, because if it does, it will lift. So you just put a good little bit on the name, and it's fine if it gets on your hand. But you just do it like that, and then you stack them, and you do it for each one. You're gonna do it the exact same thing, layer for layer. Once I do think it's drying, though, I do lift it up off of my mat so that it doesn't stick once it starts drying. Then you just try to lay them on there in the same, you know, to where they're exactly right on top of each, the names are on top of each other. And then you just again do all of them like that. I'm trying to move as quickly as I can for you. And the Modge Podge does dry pretty quick with the cardstock. So you definitely want to make sure when you lay them that you are laying them exactly where you want them, because it dries pretty quick. And then again with these, since these are going to be under the main one, I just do them in black when I'm just printing the additional ones. So I just use the black cardstock for the additional ones. And again, like I said, you just want to make sure they're set pretty good. What I do generally to lift it is I get my X-Acto knife and go under the bottom one to pull it up, because like I say, it will start to stick. So I just do that to lift it up real quick. And once you get them stacked, this is what it's gonna look like with all 4 of those stacked. And then I just go around and press it just to make sure that all of them are even as possible, and make sure that there's no place for the epoxy to seep through. You just press them together real good. So I just go through and do that. Make sure they're sealed really good. And then I just set that to the side. Let me put this one on as well. And you can, like I said, go ahead and put your top one on as well. That's gonna be your final piece. Just so I don't have to re-lift it up again. And you do just want to make sure that you use enough Modge Podge so that there's no way for it to seep under your letters. Alright. So I'm going to put the top coat of the name plate on there. I just want to make sure it's covered all the way up. You can hold it in your hand as well, just to make sure that you are lining it up. And just press them down so you can again make sure that nothing is no epoxy. And this is the top coat. This is the first name, the top. All right, so then also the way that I showed you guys in the first video is that you print out all the back pieces. Again, I print these in black as well. But I do, like, if the customer wants a color, or I'm just looking to design something like this, I printed this on the glitter cardstock, so it's gonna have this one on top. So basically you do the same thing. That one goes there. I got a lot of these over here I'm doing, but you do the same thing With these, you Modge Podge it and stack them exactly the same. And you just also, you want to definitely make sure with these that you are lining them up evenly, so that all your holes for your keychain are lined up and in the same place. Because again, the Modge Podge does dry quick, so you want to make sure that these are exactly the same. So I'll generally put it in my hand so I can make sure that it is lining up correctly. And it's gonna dry quick, so you wanna try to move a little fast. Yeah, see, this one's not lining up. Doesn't want to line up. But see, the Modge Podge is already drying, so you definitely have to move a little quick, or you'll have to re-Modge Podge like this. I'm gonna try to line it up again. Alright. Better the second time. And so again, you just keep doing that till you get everything stacked on top of one another. And again, I print out 4 or 5 copies of the black. It just depends. I meant not 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 of the black, just depending. And then I print the 1 top coat that I'm gonna have on top of everything else. So it's generally between 5 or 6 when it's layered out completely. But it is ultimately up to you how you know, how thick you want it and stuff. But once the epoxy and stuff gets on it, you know, it'll be fine of everything. So if you do all that, I'll tomorrow my husband will epoxy him, and then I'll show you guys a final video of how it looks. So again, I'm just still stacking them, and I'm almost to the last one. I'm not gonna use this white one. Originally, I was gonna do a white background, but I changed my mind. So, decided to do this glitter background. So again, you just press it really good to make sure that, you know, and you want to try to keep it as straight. Do not let it bend unless you're doing like a bracelet. But otherwise, you want to try to keep it as straight as possible when you're doing that. All right, and this is what the background looks like once I have it all assembled. And so once I have that done and the name done, then I will just come do the back of the name. And just do it, you know, real good again, so nothing can go underneath. And you just come line it up basically how you did it in Design Space. And press it down really good again so that it seals right. And you want to make sure again it's straightened out So when you lay it down and for it to dry, I generally try to let them completely dry before I epoxy them. I do another coat of Modge Podge over everything. It's gonna dry clear, so that's fine. But you definitely want to make sure it dries completely before you do any epoxy. It's gonna show, I would say. But once it completely dries, you won't be able to see this. But you definitely want to try to go through your cracks and stuff with Modge Podge. It's still gonna be shiny. It's still gonna. I'll show you one that I'm finishing up that's drying. Well, the Modge Podge is dried on it, shall I say. Alright, so you can just brush through the letters just so you can make sure it is through there. And then no Modge Podge, no epoxy won't get on your letters after it's completely dry. So generally it'll look like this, but again, that is going to dry clear. But you want to do that so when you do epoxy them, that no epoxy gets between your letters. And I just generally try to go through to thin it out a little. So, you know, just go around all your letters, making sure that there's Modge Podge around. Then go around the trim. Like, I'm trying to turn it so y'all can see. Like this, to go around your edges too, to make sure that that's all covered as well. And then once the front dries, then you could basically do the same thing to the back as well. And that is pretty much the main thing you do in order to get these assembled. And then again, once this is done, the next step, after these dry for a few hours, the next step is to apply your epoxy. And I would recommend using like the epoxy brush so that you're going kind of between your letters so it has a better look. I'll show you though. But once this dries, it is gonna look like this one. So again, it's still shiny, and I use the same Mate Modge Podge on this one. So this one is dry. I just have to get it epoxy, but it is completely dry, so I do like the front and the back, and then we'll get it completely epoxy. Epoxy one side one day, and then the next day I epoxy the back because you want both sides to be epoxy. But that is basically it. I have this other one that I'm working on. I'm excited. So this is gonna be a WAP keychain, but basically you do the same thing. These are all white, and this one is gonna be the cover for that keychain. And then I'll be assembling the QR code for this keychain set. So that's just gonna be neat. All right, so if you ladies have any questions, feel free to ask me any questions below. If you are watching via my YouTube channel, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button below and also hit the bell to get alerted of any new videos that I do upload. All right, I thank you guys for your support, and I will talk to you soon.